Kamala Harris is not a black woman. I'll explain why. Now, excuse me if you're not looking at what I want you to look at. It's pretty easy to grab a photo of Kamala Harris and her family. And I'm trying to determine what I want to use to prove my point. Look, everybody knows what Kamala Harris looks like, okay? So I'm probably just going to Google an image of her family. And I'm also going to try, I may not have any success at doing it. I might be able to. But there was a girl I dated about 3 years ago. She was an Indian, and she was from a town in Ohio. I bet he had Iowa. She was from a very small town in Iowa. And she, on her profile, I met her on Plenty of Fish. On her profile, she had herself listed as Caucasian. Now, I am from the South, and I was looking to move up north with a white woman. I ain't gonna lie. And I did for a few years, but it didn't end up being her. We had a casual friendship. We met each other once, but the situation didn't necessarily, the circumstances didn't add up to where we could have a relationship, but she still remains a friend of mine to this day, okay? But I found something very funny, a set of things funny. She was a single mother, despite the fact that she was extremely articulate and she was very smart. If I could find her image, she would be the woman you're looking at in the thumbnail. Her name was Misrala. It was Misrala. I'm not going to spell it. I don't want to invade anybody's privacy. I've already told you the state that she's from. And you could probably, I'm sure there's probably other Hindus in the state. But the thing of it is that, I've seen many of her pictures before I seen her, and I just saw that. It's crazy how black people are. Black people are rejected and hated by everybody. So what that does is that it causes a psychological effect among black people, and it's actually not the same that you see among any other people. Like with the Palestinians, Israelis hate Palestinians and kill them. So Palestinians hate them back and do as much as they can in their primitive abilities to kill as many Israelis as they can. I mean, that's how people tend to do. But black people generally tend to have a social reaction where they accept everybody as black. Miss Rala, my friend, is not a black woman. She was literally adopted by white adoptee parents from India. She identifies as a Caucasian. But I found it very funny because she stays in a town. It's a small college town in Iowa, about an hour from Des Moines. And the town is 97% white and Native American. Of the 3% that is black, it's like the majority of that is actually female. So you have to ask yourself the question, how exactly does a brown-skinned Hindu female in this ocean of whiteness, how does she even find her black baby daddy? See, this is the part of the game. Hold on just a second. Yeah, this is the part of the game where you have to kind of know about microaggression. Look, I'm going to get real honest with you and tell you exactly how. Because I don't want to use other people's kids to prove a point. But she has two girls. Both her girls, they look like common, typical black girls. One of them, I'll say honestly, she didn't even inherit her mother's hair texture. I mean, she's a kinky-headed black girl. Her skin is very smooth. It's very smooth. But her youngest daughter inherited somewhat of her mama's hair texture, and she has a kind of silky, curly hair. It's very silky and curly. Now, before let me just talk about the third child. She actually had a third child, but this child she had very recently. I guess, the woman knows that she's a Hindu, so she literally flew to India and just got pregnant by a Hindu man, because I guess before the end of her life cycle, I'm an Indian, and I want to have at least one baby by an actual Indian, And her little third child, which is the youngest, is an actual. And I'm gonna do another video. I'm gonna show you these images. Like I say, being that she's no celebrity or popular person, she probably wouldn't mind. But it's like her third child is like an Indian, and this is the thing that black people are always doing. Black people, we have such low IQ levels, man. We are so dumb as a society that we will call a person black who is biracial. We will take a black person that is a person of African descent, overwhelmingly genetically. We will take a black person and we will look at a black person in a photo with a non-black person. They will have produced 2 or 3 children. And if you point at the non-black person and say to a black person in America, what is that? The person can be no more than a brown-skinned Taiwanese or somebody like Kamala Harris. And they'll be like, oh, she black. Or, oh, he black. What the fuck are you talking about? Do you know what black... And see, what an African told me is this, and it's very true. He said, y'all suffer underneath the term black. He said, there's something that you'll notice. All these mixed race people will swarm upon the word black, and they will just wrestle it from you, and they will often sometimes be people who identify more with their white side, conveniently identify with you just to receive what benefits there are of being black, governmental, private company, and socio-culturally, and then y'all just let them do it. Y'all just label them black and let them come in there and do it. And they do it to you with no mercy. Like, they don't have no mercy. Like, hell yeah, I'm taking all your shit underneath the notion that I'm black, despite the fact that I'm half black, or in many cases, like in the case of Kamala Harris, or in the case of Cardi B, the person is not black at all. Nobody can look at Kamala Harris's parents and say that is a black woman. Like, are you insane? But black people will look at their parents like one of your parents looks like the cute version, your mama looks like the aesthetically pretty version of Whoopi Goldberg. And your daddy looks like James Earl Ray. And you can take a family where you got the rapper Pitbull sitting next to Jennifer Lopez, and black Afro-American Negroes are the only one that'll say that A-Rod and J-Lo is a black couple. Like, if you took just one of them and put them with a black person, we have a black-on-black relationship. That's how stupid black people are. And that level of stupidity, it can only be explained. It can't be solved. That's why you have so many black, I guess you could say, conservative channels like mine that are on the rise. Because it's kind of like some of us with brains have to get up and kind of like alert the world that we're not stupid. It's like not all of us are stupid. Unfortunately, we're swamped with the stupid asses, but not all of us are stupid. I know that you can't take 2 people and create a biracial and then say that both people that created the biracial are of the same race. Just stating it that way indicates that you don't have a single race relationship. You had a multi-race relationship. That's how you get a multi-race person. Black people are the only idiots that believe that you can get a black person from a multi-race relationship. And Ms. Rala, my friend, she's not a black woman. She'll tell you that. Like, when it comes to black girls, including her as a black woman, it's kind of an embarrassing thing with her because she's like, well, I appreciate the sisterhood and the inclusiveness and that y'all are so loving, accepting, and tolerant. But you do know I'm not black, right? You do know I'm not African. But this is just black people. And like I said, it's like an old comedian back in the day said. I think that was Ron White. He's like this redneck comedian. He said, you can't fix stupid. You just can't. You can educate ignorance. If ignorance is willful and willing to die and be replaced by the light of knowledge, you can educate ignorance, but you cannot fix stupid. Write that down as one of your new improved sayings, okay? Like one of your mottos, something to live by. You can't fix stupid. It's kind of like Albert Einstein said, never argue with a fool. They'll drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. Just learn to walk away from certain ignorant, stupid people. I don't want to get all into that, but you know how that goes. But anyway, neither Cardi B, who said, I drug niggas, and then I drug niggas and kill them or rob them. You will get like Latin men, like black people will say that Cardi B is black, right? And you will get Hispanic Latino men who won't date her because she's with a black man. Offset. If Cardi B is such a black woman, please explain to me the anger of Latin and Hispanic men. Explain that to me. And yeah, I do know that there's a such thing as Hispanic black or Afro-Latino. But Hispanic is just a reference to a native mestizo person for the most part. A native mestizo person is often referenced as Hispanic. A Latina is often a female reference to a Latin female, and generally tends to be more associated with people from the Caribbean. For example, you hear Puerto Ricans, Dominicans use the word Latino, or Cubans. I'm a Latino, Once it gets to South America, Venezuela, Bolivia, it's much more Hispanic because you have a very heavy Spanish-speaking native indigenous culture. Those people had names very similar to Cherokee, and all the different Muskegee, Hopi, Tacoma. They had names similar to that before the Spanish came. So those people are actually Indians, who speak Spanish, and a lot of them are just mixed with Spanish, other European, and in many, many, many cases, depending on which country you're in, like Colombia or Brazil, they'll be mixed heavily with black. But it's just a little bit of a lesson, and I'll say it one last time before I get the hell up out the building. Neither Cardi B nor Kamala Harris are a black African woman, and what the African dude told me is that everybody will swarm, anybody can swarm upon the political designation of black. What you all need is a name. And he said, I am an Igbo. And there is no white, Asian, Hindu, or mixed race person who can claim my name. They won't even do it. Because Igbo is just so heavily associated with black African people of a certain spiritual cult. They just can't do it, and they don't even try. But they will argue with you all day over the political designation of black. It's your boy, Shadow Band. I'm out.